Spring of 2017 has been horrid for anybody in the fields.
Yeah.
This is our tribute to
Egg Twitter.
hashtag plant17.
Yep. Do you want to talk about Hay 17, or are you going to get in a fetal position in my truck?
Hey 17, I would be sucking my thumb.
That bad.
The hay is fine, and you know what? We got it off on a good week because there's some guys out there that
It's been washed a few times, like
It's been
lathered,
washed.
rinsed, and repeated.
yes, then with no spin cycle from what I'm seeing. No spin cycle for hay. There needs to be one.
You got a lot of sun.
I did hay for 3 days on asphalt.
Fair enough.
Yeah, some big ones that came out were hashtag just send it. What the hell does that mean? I had to actually Google that.
What does it mean?
It just means just do it.
Well, yeah, that's because
Just do it.
I've used that hashtag a couple of times, but in a different context because I have a 22-year-old brother, so I'm pretty like hip to the things that the kids are saying.
Like,
so I feel like
on point.
Okay, I've used that one for a long time.
Because you're kind of a millennial.
I'm on the cusp. In my defense, I have used On Point for a very, very long time. Carrying on. Okay. I have a favorite from your hashtag list, and that's Hot Mess
Hot mess mom and egg.
I am one.
I think we all are.
The hot mess mom and egg caught my eye because
We are.
I just am, and I fully admit it.
And we promote that.
Let's maybe not pretend that we have our shit together all the time with our gaggle full of children, and then we're able to bring like a hot field meal out to the, poor starving farmer. Let's maybe not pretend that that's what we do. Maybe we hum a granola bar and an apple in a bag and be like, send it.
Just send that pepperette and that apple
Send that hot
and that
rod,
granola bar.
that cheese string, and that dirty old juice box
Just
at the
gonna
bottom.
say, at Cropper 01 has lost like 10 pounds this spring.
Mark couldn't afford to lose 10 pounds.
Oh, he's
could
pretty
he?
happy about the 10 pounds
Okay.
lost. That is a good wife.
That is looking
It's a
out for
damn
his
good wife.
That's
if you
looking
ask
out for
me.
his cardiovascular health is what that's doing. Can we talk about the state of this vehicle for a minute?
Hot mess mom and egg.
Hot mess mom and egg.
What was in here? Not sure.
Not sure. Here I have Picard's son of a gun.
I'm gonna eat one.
Salt and
How old
vinegar,
are they?
chip nuts, and then also I have some hot lips.
Oh.
I have deodorant. I have. Anyway, doesn't matter. Hot mess mom and egg.
What I did notice on trending this year on egg Twitter, that's a thing, was
Oh, flat brimmed or curved?
like
Strong-
really?
No. Leslie, please don't snap your face.
That is what you get,
That is
flat
what-
brimmers.
There you go.
So yes, hashtag plant17 for some of us.
Also replant.
turned into
replant.
replant 17.
Yes.
Turned into what should have been replant 217.
Just gonna leave that right there.
It's fine. They're used to worse.
You're not wrong.
Bye, Felicia.
Can we
What
talk
does
about?
bye Felicia mean?
Do you
Where
not-
did it come from?
Google
I
it.
don't know what any of these things. I have to Google everything in my life.
Do you?
Yeah. Are you asking me? Do I have to Google everything
Okay,
in my
so
life?
and so what I do, because I have a 13-year-old and you have a teenager as well, but I like to say things that really bother her, because she knows what they mean, like cash
And
me
say it
outside.
wrong?
Yeah. Well, no.
That is all mine.
You wear that
Until I
one.
own that one. Spray 17. Do we go down the Spray 17 road?
Why not? No. No, let's leave that right there.
Pretty dramatic.
It was dramatic.
The United States of America had snow. Planting 17 turned into snow 17.
There was snow here too in Canada, was there not?
Yeah, but I don't think we had any planting done when it snowed. They had some planting done when it snowed. I feel like this.
Okay.
This is not going anywhere. It's not
Well-
very funny.
It's not the funniest. Maybe let's explain how instead of being funny, we're gonna have a serious conversation.
Talk about Kim Keller.
I'm gonna talk about mental health. So Sandy and I, as everybody who watches this knows that we do this a fair bit, and we usually try to keep it pretty light and pretty funny and pretty chill. But I think that we're gonna sort of take that in a little bit of a different direction tonight. We're gonna talk about something that nobody ever talks about. Neither of us are in any way, shape, or form an expert on mental health. But what we do have the ability to do, which is kind of cool, is raise a little bit of awareness.
We can talk about
We
it.
can talk about it.
I can talk about it because I've been through it a little bit myself.
Absolutely.
And I think probably a lot of us have.
Yeah.
We just don't want to really actually.
And nobody
talk
ever
about
talks about it. A mutual friend of ours, Kim Keller, sort of put her foot down a little bit the other day and said
it. On Twitter.
on Twitter with a very large audience, essentially referring to the fact that we don't talk about mental health in the farming community.
It's something that people do not talk about because it's
taboo.
It's taboo a little bit, and it's taboo a lot, and mostly it's pride, it's shame, it's a lot of everything.
It's all of those things. There was a producer on one of the threads, a farmer in one of the threads, that said he had taken to a Facebook page that is supposed to be farmers sort of talking to each other, and sort of said he was having a bit of a bad day and was called out for being a wimp because he had a bad day and threw his back out and things were stressful. And I think that mentality is something that needs to shift.
Yeah. Find your people to talk to.
Yeah.
And don't isolate yourself.
I find that in this industry, we always just sort of say, you know what, I'm fine, I'm just tired, or I'm just worn out.
And we are, but that's the root.
That's fair enough. But you combine things like livestock sickness, financial pressure, regulations, bad planting seasons, bad harvest,
Mother Nature.
all of those things. You combine all of those with things like lack of sleep, things like lack of support in the house, things like a lack of your basic sort of tribe.
Yeah.
And it begets depression.
Yeah.
It begets frustration. One of the things that we don't ever talk about is that the suicide rate amongst farmers is the highest in any profession. And so that is an important statistic. It's something that we need to spend more time talking about. And if something is wrong, or we feel like something is wrong with one of our people, even not one of our people that we're close to,
But
even if in the peripheral, if you see something or you feel something, say something.
That's when we need to stick together. Just see it for what it is. Don't judge, and try to help, or find someone that can help. Like, you don't have to be that person if you're not comfortable being that person.
It's funny because people from the outside looking in look at small rural communities and they think, oh, that's such a tight-knit, small, supportive community, when in fact, I would beg to argue that I think it might be the opposite when it is such a small, tight-knit community, because these people that are legitimately struggling don't want to be looked down upon and don't want to be that sort of pariah of their community. We have an obligation, I think, as not just in the agriculture industry, but as people, to make sure that people are okay.
Yeah.
The point that Kim was trying to make is that there aren't a lot of resources in rural Canada.
There's not. I think what we're going to have to do is rely on each other, like we do with everything else. Twitter's a very good resource for finding equipment, finding how do you feed your sheep, how do you feed your cows, how do you do this, how do you do this,
and commiserating too, right?
And commiserating.
Yeah.
But no one talks about, guys, I'm feeling like big shit. Yep. Who do I talk to about this? Who has been through this?
Yep.
And I'm going to tell you right now that life has not always been that wonderful, even for the people that you think has their shit together.
Amen.
The only logic I have on why bad things happen to good people is because you're going to be the person that's going to help someone else through it, because you aren't the only one going through it. And I don't know. There's so many issues, and farming is like...
Well, the statistic speaks for itself.
I think a lot of people outside farming think that farming is a very simple life and a very good life. I want my kids to grow up on the farm.
Yeah.
I want my kids to have wide open spaces.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Well,
we glorify it ourselves
I'm sorry,
a little bit as well.
if you were in our four walls for the last 2 months, you would be like, my kids are probably like...
But we are our own worst enemy sometimes, because really, for the majority of people online, you really only want to put your best foot forward, right? You don't want to show the shitty parts of your day. You want to show the best parts, the sunsets, the crops growing. I think the moral of the story is that we are certainly sometimes our own worst enemy, and we have an obligation to make sure that we have access to the support that that farmers need, and to make sure that there are people out there that completely understand what they're going through, and to be able to try to connect them and to raise awareness to a very serious issue.
Yep.
So you know what? I think I'm kind of sorry that we didn't keep it fun and light. I think Cash, crop
Cash
tour
Me Outside?
Cash Me Outside. How about that? Emma, that was for you, Emma.
Just threw that in there and I got that one
Throw it
right.
in there. Yeah, you did.
I must be a millennial.
Yeah, you are. I'm gonna get off my soapbox right now, go home after a really great day of work, and see my children.
I'm gonna get on my soapbox
And
and,
go
take
see-
cedars out of Hereford beef cows. That's gonna be fun.
I'll switch you.
You want to switch me
I'll switch ya.
fartsy Herefords for your children?
Yep.
I like your kids.
I
They'll
like
be
them too.
fine.
They
I
will
think
be
they'd be
fine.
fine with me.
They would be.
My
They're
kids don't really like me anymore.
Yeah, they
'cause they're
do.
old.
Yeah, they do.
I don't know about that. We're done.
Well, yeah, I think so.